All right, I'm here at the dog park down the street from my house in Santa Monica. This is Archer, and this is Rosie. Rosie is our helper dog. Her guardian is nice enough to loan her to us to practice this. So Archer is reactive to dogs that he doesn't know, specifically bigger dogs that move around too much before he agrees that he's met them sufficiently. And that's okay, little baby crying adds a little character of the video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use counter conditioning to help your dog practice being around a stimulus without reacting. Now, when I'm doing the counter conditioning, the way I do is a little bit different than a lot of other people. I have these Chicky Trainer chicken liver treats. It looks like a pellet. I'm going to smash them so they're flat like a pancake. The reason I do this is I want the dog to be able to nibble on the treat in 3 to 5 bites and not get it all at once. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be providing, this is called a reinforcer. I'm going to be providing the reinforcer while Rosie, right? Passes back in front of us. Now my 2 tests, can I get the dog that I'm working with to sit, and will it take a treat? If before a dog reaches his breaking point, there's certain indicators. And if a dog won't sit, sitting puts a dog at a disadvantage. So if your dog won't sit, that's often an indicator that they feel uncomfortable with the situation. Same thing with us. If we're about to get robbed, we don't have our appetite. So same sort of thing. So if the dog won't take won't sit or won't take the treat, you are too close to the stimulus. The 3 ways I lower the intensity is decreasing the volume, increasing the distance, or slowing down the speed. In this case, we're going to do it with a slow speed, and we're going to have some distance that I think should be appropriate, but you'll play around with the elements. You want to get your dog as close to the stimulus as possible without it reacting, and that is the most important thing. If your dog is reacting, it's what we call above threshold, you're not going to be able to teach it anything. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding this treat in front of Archer's mouth, and if you're going to watch, I'm going to have Archer following Rosie as she walks. So I'm going to do this, and we'll demonstrate a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll explain kind of the next stage that we do with counter conditioning. So just keep on filming. All right, so you're going to basically walk right between these 2 leaves and just walk to about that leaf and then turn around and walk back if you could. Okay. All right, Archer. Go ahead. You're good. So I make sure Archer is watching the other dog while he's getting the treat. There we go. All right, we're ready. Yep. And come back a little bit closer, 1 step closer, so you're walking on that. There you go. So I want to make sure Archer is looking at the other dog as it's passing. And we're going to pass again, a little bit closer still. So if Archer would have gotten up and stopped taking the treat, that would be too close. All right, now I'm going to have you go 1 more and a little bit faster if you could. Excellent. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. You're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
the
Rosie.
first stage of this, yes, Rosie, I'll leave some treats for you, sweetheart. So the first stage of this, we want to deliver, this is where I do it a little bit different than everybody else. I want to be delivering the reinforcer first. So the treat is being chewed on, and then Rosie started to walk. And again, we started off here, then we went here, then here. We gradually getting the dog closer and closer. You can also do the same principle walking here, the same path over and over, but at first we walk very slow, then we walk only kind of slow, then we walk medium, then a little bit faster and faster until eventually the dog is running back and forth. Then we take 1 step closer and go back to going very slow and gradually speed up the distance. Now this is something you don't always get to do in 1 sitting. Right now that dog is, had a really nice energy, and so Archer wasn't reactive. But you'll get to a point where Archer will stop taking the treat or want to get up. That's Archer's way, or any dog's way, of saying, I'm getting close to my breaking point. So if I was at 10 feet, then I would take note, or at 10 feet, we'll stop on a good one. You always want to stop on a good repetition. And then the next time we practice, we might start practicing, if we started at 15 and got to 10, we might start at 11 and then go, so you step 1 step back and you're kind of going back and forth until eventually you get closer, until the dog tells you I'm reaching my breaking point, and we stop again. All right, so now the first stage is we're delivering the reinforcer first, and then the stimulus happens. The second stage, what we would do, and I'm not doing it here because it's way too early, you'd have to practice this, is we would have the dog walk and take 1 or 2 steps, then I would give the dog a treat. Then next time I would take 3 steps before I give it the treat. And I'm holding the treat kind of close, I'm not letting the dog nibble on it, but I have it close so it's kind of, it knows it's about to get it. The idea for this is we want now the stimulus to happen, and then the dog gets rewarded afterwards. So first we deliver the treat at the same time so the dog doesn't react. But what we want to have the dogs think is, when a dog passes in front of me, that's a good thing. That means I'm about to get a treat. And so the idea is eventually we have the dog walk all the way past, and then we deliver the treat. And so that becomes the dog passing in front almost is the same thing as a hand signal or a command word for doing, I'm going to get a treat. Does that make sense? All right, so when you're doing this, the very common mistake that people make is they push too far too fast. So again, your dog cannot react throughout. And find dogs that will help out. The dog's energy, Rosie had really good energy. She walked next to her guardian. She was very listened, and she was very cool. If you have a dog that's a puppy that's bouncing and barking, he might be able to be 10 feet away from Rosie. A dog that's bouncing and barking, he might have to be 25 feet away. So take into account how each dog is acting. And the dogs you want to look for are dogs who are going to walk next to their guardian. They're not super animated. Eventually we can work our way up to a really animated dog, but for the beginning we want to build on success with more success with more success. So the more that you practice and go at a slow pace, your dog is practicing not reacting to another dog, and then getting a little bit closer or a little bit faster, whatever the case may be. Not only am I not reacting, I'm getting something positive. And then after we build enough association, then I see the dog, then I get the treat afterwards. And then the dog is actually an indicator of something positive that's gonna happen. Right, Archer? Come here, buddy. Well, this is my buddy Archer. Sit, sit. And these are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to other dogs or people out and about.